Welcome to segment 7. As I said in the last one, now we're gonna go to the whorehouse! Yay! I feel like Kylie from Firefly.
They does. No one's bought me some Colin dolls yet. When I was young. Really young.
In case we missed it, that was Alistair saying that the Earl of Redcliffe once bought him a Gollum doll from that particular shop. When he was very young, of course. Very, very young. And I do apologize about the buzzing sound. For some reason, something got stuck in my fan, and somehow my recording software picked up that noise, even though my mic was not on, and it's not supposed to do that. But anyway, this is the Pearl. Both Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age 2 have brothels, and they are a lot of fun.
That scamp Kylon sent you, right? Glad he hasn't forgotten about us. The mercenaries are right there. If you're here about other things, speak up.
Someone needs to put you in your place.
If you can't tell, we're going to talk to that woman who is fighting the multiple dudes over there, but not right now.
Be off with you now, and be glad I only took from you your gold. Fools.
Turn around and walk, stranger. This affair is for White Falcons only. Get a load of this guard. You're telling us what to do? You have a point there. Man, let's clear out. Don't want to get on Locane's bad side, do we?
Tell Kylon I owe him one.
In both of the Dragon Age games where there is a brothel, you are able to engage the employees in their craft. Although you never have to, it's never a plot point and you don't get any bonuses. It's just fun.
Welcome to the Pearl. I'm Sanga, the proprietor. Have a seat, get comfortable, and tell me what you need. Every one of my people here is a skilled craftsman, and don't let anyone tell you different. You'll have to go one at a time, I'm afraid. Our rooms aren't quite big enough to share between so many. But we can discuss that in a moment. So what would you like me to show you? The men or the women? Or some of both, if you prefer.
The horrible, perverted old woman in me wants a massive party orgy.
Very good. Wait here a moment. Now, before you choose one, let me remind you of the guild rules. You see these lovely gentlemen by the door? If you don't play nicely with my people, these boys will have words with you. You'll pay up front, 40 silver. I'm getting tired of throwing soldiers off the pier for forgetting their coin. We're a craft hall, not a public charity. So, shall I let you get acquainted?
I considered trying to barter for a lower price and then skipped it.
Go ahead and choose then.
I wish they didn't line them up like some horrible meat market. I prefer it in Dragon Age 2 where they're all just scattered about in conversation and you get to go up to them and it doesn't feel like this weird, horrible, I don't even know. It's just wrong. I also don't like that we've got two of them where their names are in quotes saying female.
Right this way, sweetie. Always leave them fearing more, I say. Oh.
Apparently, my microphone also picked up the sound of me snorting in laughter there, and I can't get rid of it.
Welcome
so
back.
sorry.
What can I get for you, honey?
There you go.
Wait just a moment then.
I do believe I fixed
Here
the
they
issue,
are.
but we need to get through
Aren't
the
they
segment where
beautiful?
the
But
fucking
remember,
mic was
40
fucking on,
silver
so
up
I'm
front.
sorry if you hear me sneeze or crunch food or something
Go
like
ahead
that.
and choose then.
Follow me.
Damn it! It's the same voice.
I'll give you a spring in your step if you can walk at all. Ah.
Welcome back. What can I get for you, honey? Wait here. Here they are. Aren't they beautiful? Remember, 40 silver up front. Go ahead and choose then.
And one more just for completeness.
Follow me, cutie. Roll me at your initiative.
Again, I apologize for my mic picking up my delighted laughing squeal there. However, it's time to get back to business, so once we head out, we'll meet up with our sergeant again. He just kind of comes and finds us, no matter where in Denerim we go.
I was hoping I'd find you. I heard about the Pearl. I don't know how, but you got them to leave with no fuss at all. The Pearl's workers will...
Nobody gives orders to my men but me. A little lesson in respect is in order.
I see. Don't bother sparing these louts. Things are about to get messy. And people actually voluntarily attack you. Are they just stupid? Here's the payment I promised. I might have more work if you're interested. But I'm heading back to the market district. Back alleys are just too dangerous for me.
I'd scold him for that because, you know, he's the one who's supposed to be in charge, but as we're going to continue to see, these back alleys are extremely dangerous right now.
You! We're about to send the boys to hunt you down! Boss says kill him!
Warden sent his king. This should be
Fight. Ankles.
Alistair has some really funny comments, either when he gets low on health or if he dies and then comes back at the end of the fight. Over here we pick up a quest off of a dead body about a group of apostates who are just kind of hiding out in the city. We'll have to clean out their lair at a different point. But right up here is actually one of our Blackstone irregulars. One of the guys who's stolen guild supplies is hanging out, and we need to get the supplies back.
Yes? Oh? What was this about? How sad it is to see a Grey Warden manipulated. But I have no time to straighten this out for you. Men, let's teach the Grey Warden a lesson about trust.
Wipe them out! Run while you can!
Now we just loot the body and get the supplies. There's a few more people we need to do this with, but that's one down. And then once we've done that, we're actually going to go back to the Denerim market, where there's at least one house that needs to be marked with a warning. This is from the Mages Collective. Someone has falsely accused people of being a blood mage, and so we're warning their families.
Stop looking at me, mongrel. I have nothing you want. Why do you keep staring at me so, you flea-ridden beast? Can you not tell when you are not wanted? I enjoy company of creatures of the wild, not stench-ridden domesticated wolves. And he persists. Maddening!
Head over and talk to an NPC to learn a little bit about
Good
our
day.
land.
The market is busy, is it not? Come, rest here. I have the finest selection of flowers and Orlesian-scented oils in all of Denerim. For you, perhaps? The oils are very relaxing in baths, no? Much of the city is still a mystery to me, but the markets is like my home. Circle and sorcered objects can be found in the wonders of Thedas, in the alleyway north. The armorer, Wade, and his emporium are just to the south. If you need work, outside the rectory to the southeast is a chanter's board. And if your thirst is strong, head to the Nord Noble Tavern north of here. Be prepared, though. They do put on many airs. I am from Orlais. You've heard of us, no? Your Denerim is a fine city, but I miss my Varroyo. She's quite beautiful this time of year. Orlais has many good things, but it is sometimes not so good to be... common? My brother had trouble with a chevalier and we departed shortly after. You know so little of our lay here. The Chevaliers are knights of the highest order. They are the most skilled in the world. Their discipline, formidable. For their service, they're allowed privileges. They can do whatever they want to the lesser born. A Chevalier took an interest in me. It was his right, but it was unwelcome. Incensed, my brother hit him over the head with a pot. Such a thing is almost treason. We left that very night and came here. That and more. Some revere them for their skill and their high service, but others tread lightly. As lightly as the mouse in the cat's den. If you will excuse me, I feel a touch lightheaded. It is a pleasure to see you again. Have my flowers enticed you? Or perhaps you tire of the smells of the city and would buy my Orlesian oils? And smelling good is not? Ferelden is no longer full of barbarians. People judge with their noses as well as their ears and eyes. But you look more armed than most of my patrons. Perhaps you seek the armor smith, Wade. Then to the south? He is quite the artiste, yes.
Head back over to our sergeant to report and get the next quest.
Good to see you back. I've got complaints in the Nord Noble Tavern that some mercenaries have invaded. Nothing violent has happened. The sellswords are probably just disturbing the nobles' rarefied conversation. Just drum the louts out of there. The barkeep doesn't mind some blood. Or sport, as she called it. Captain said Denham won't miss a few dead mercenaries. Do what you will, and good luck.
Up ahead, once we're out of this screen, because I was buying crap, is one of the few NPCs who does actually care that we're Grey Wardens, and depending on how you handle it, you have to fight him.
I recognize you. From Ostagar. And trust his blood. You're a Grey Warden. Duncan's apprentice. You killed my friend. And good King Cailan. I demand satisfaction, sir. Pardon me, sir. You must think I'm a fool. You really do look like... too much ale. Yes, too much. Excuse me.
But we handled him nicely, so now we can head into the Nod Noble Tavern.
This is where the nobility comes to get drunk and decide who is the most self-important of them all. Good times.
What can I get you, stranger? Some folks aren't happy about Tyrn Loghain being named regent. There are rumors he had something to do with the king's death. Isn't that the most ridiculous thing you ever heard? The Darkspawn killed him, sure enough. If Tyrn Loghain couldn't save the king from that inn, then nobody could. Anything else you need? I heard from some travelers that something bad might have happened in Redcliffe, overrun by Darkspawn, maybe. There's no word from the village at all. A merchant friend of mine said he encountered someone fleeing the place and there was nothing waiting for him there but death. He wisely turned around and came right back. Anything else you need?
Now that we've grabbed some under-the-table work, we can go deal with the mercenaries who are in this little side room.
What are you looking at? We're the Crimson Oars. Oh, you're threatening us. We're veterans of many battles. Who are you? We were just leaving. Yes, oars, we go to the docks!
That's super easy. Now there's another Blackstone irregular
Make
chest
us
up
blessings
here with a
upon
few
you,
more
Warden.
quests we can pick up. Including one to tell several women that their husbands are dead. Fun times! I mentioned this was a really super upbeat, positive game, right? So one of the under the table quests that we pick up is literally a pick up and hide the bodies quest. We have to go into this warehouse where somebody has killed somebody and we don't entirely know why, but our job is to get rid of the body.
I won't take the blame for this one. This was bad from the start. No way he was here to deal. In fact, I ain't sticking around to see how this turns out.
I'll show you what we do with the body later. It's entertaining. I had actually planned to run straight to where we dispose of the bodies, but then this happened. This game is a little glitchy. So taking us directly to party camp to get us out of that. And Sten comes and confronts us about being a woman, because that's a thing.
I don't understand. You look like a woman. You are a Grey Warden, so it follows that you can't be a woman. Women are priests, artisans, shopkeepers, or farmers. They don't fight. Why would women ever wish to be men? That makes no sense. Exactly. One of those things can't be true. A person is born, Gunari or human or elven or dwarf. He doesn't choose that. The size of his hands, whether he is clever or foolish, the land he comes from, the color of his hair, these are beyond his control. We do not choose, we simply are. Can they? We'll see.
Given that Iron Bull completely accepts Krem, I don't know if that's an Iron Bull thing, or if the Kunari just accept transgender, but they do have very defined gender roles.
Ask away. Essentially, they're trained to fight. The Chantry would tell you that the Templars exist simply to defend. But don't let them fool you. They're an army. The other main purpose for a Templar is, of course, to hunt mages. To that end, we train in talents that drain mana and disrupt spells. No, I never actually became a full Templar. Duncan recruited me before I took my vows. I was only present during one harrowing. The ritual that they test the mages with. It's not unlike our joining, really. And just as deadly. The girl they tested, she had a demon put inside her to see if she could resist. And she couldn't. We had to end it quickly. I have to say I didn't have much interest in becoming a Templar after that. You could call it that, sure. The Chantry doesn't look on it the same way, however, since really our talents only work on mages. Against a regular person, I'm just a guy in a metal suit. Perhaps, but there usually isn't much of an opportunity. The Chantry keeps a close rein on its Templars. We are given lyrium to help develop our magical talents, you see. Which means we become addicted. And since the Chantry controls the lyrium trade with the dwarves, well, I'm sure you can put two and two together. Thankfully, no. You only start receiving lyrium once you've taken your vows. You don't need lyrium in order to learn the Templar talents. Lyrium just makes Templars' talents more effective. Or so I was told. Maybe it doesn't even do that. The Chantry usually doesn't let their Templars get away either, so they can spread their secrets. I'm a bit of an exception. Lucky me. What do you need? Ask away. I suppose I could. But I really would rather not. When the Grand Cleric let Duncan recruit me, she made me swear never to reveal Templar secrets outside of the Chantry. I'd rather not go back on my word. Ask me later, perhaps. Maybe I'll change my mind. This is not something small you're asking, after all. What do you need? Ask away. Such as they are. That's a good question. There's plenty in Orlais, but who knows where they might be found. And the nearest Orlesian city is weeks away. If we go north and cross the sea, there's bound to be some in the Free Marches. Again, however, I just don't know where. I don't know anything about Grey Wardens in other lands. Here in Ferelden, there's our compound in Denerim at the palace, but that's it. Loghain will have control over that and be watching it, no doubt. Beyond that, the only place I know of is Weishaupt Fortress. That's the headquarters of all Grey Wardens in the Anderfelds, 1,000 miles from here. But I've no idea how to even contact them. So unless we try to get back to the compound in Denerim, I suppose the answer is no. There's nowhere for us to go. I imagine that eventually the Grey Wardens outside of Ferelden will wonder what's happened. Why there's no contact from Duncan or someone. They'll send someone eventually. Though who knows what Loghain's people in Denerim will tell them. Maybe they won't send anyone. We could try to contact them. But that would mean leaving Ferelden, and even if we did, they couldn't come back with us in time to stop the Blight. So that means whatever happens, it's up to us. I mean, eventually we would have to use the joining to make more Grey Wardens, right? But I don't know how to do the joining, or what's involved. I know it involves lyrium and some other magic, and that it's really difficult to prepare, but that's it. Unless we can find out more about the joining, I guess we better get used to the idea that there might only be 2 of us for now. Until more come from elsewhere. Just left? You mean just left Ferelden? I don't know. If there's an archdemon, however, we're supposed to be the only ones who can defeat it. And that means the Blight would grow unchecked. Eventually, other Grey Wardens in Orlais and other lands would hear about it, and they would come to fight it, but they wouldn't come in time to save Ferelden. There's no way. I'm not going anywhere. About the Grey Wardens, anyhow. Fair enough. What do you need? Ask away. Such as they are. About the Grey Wardens, any. What do you need? Ask away. Same way you did. You drink some blood, you choke on it, and pass out. You haven't forgotten already, have you? I do my best. What can I say? Let's see, I was in the Chantry before. I trained for many years to become a Templar, in fact. That's where I learned most of my skills. You're telling me I was banished to the kitchens to scour the pots more times than I can count. And that's a lot. I can count pretty high. The Grand Cleric didn't want to let me go. Duncan was forced to conscript me, actually, and was she ever furious when he did. I thought she was going to have us both arrested. I was lucky. I wondered that myself. It's not as if she valued me highly. I think she just didn't want to give anything to the Grey Wardens, is all. The Chantry didn't lose much. And I think I can do more fighting the Blight anyhow, rather than sitting in a temple somewhere. I'll always be thankful to Duncan for recruiting me. If it hadn't been for him, you know, I wouldn't have. He was a good man who didn't deserve his fate. That much I'm sure of. Come on, let's go. I think I'm done talking. What do you need? Ask away. Did I say that? I meant that dogs raised me. Giant slobbering dogs from the Anderfelds. A whole pack of them, in fact. Well, it wasn't until I was 8 that I discovered you didn't have to lick yourself clean. Old habits die hard, you know. And my table manners too. Though, come to think of it, they weren't all that different from the other Templars. Or did I dream all of that? Funny the dreams you'll have when you sleep on the cold, hard ground, isn't it? Are you having strange dreams? I think I completely lost my chain of thought. Oh, there it is. Let's see, how do I explain this? I'm a bastard. And before you make any smart comments, I mean the fatherless kind. My mother was a serving girl in Redcliffe Castle who died when I was very young. Arl Eamon wasn't my father, but he took me in anyhow and put a roof over my head. He was good to me, and he didn't have to be. I respect the man, and I don't blame him anymore for sending me off to the Chantry once I was old enough. I was young and resentful and not very pious. Of course I blamed him. I remember screaming at him like a little child. Well, I was a child, so I doubt he was surprised. Arl Eamon eventually married a young woman from Orlais, which caused all sorts of problems between him and the king because it was so soon after the war. But he loved her. Anyhow, then you, Arlessa, resented the rumors which pegged me as his bastard. They weren't true, but of course they existed. The Arl didn't care, but she did. So off I was packed to the nearest monastery at age 10. Just as well. The Arlessa made sure the castle wasn't a home to me by that point. She despised me. Maybe. She felt threatened by my presence, I can see that now. I can't say I blame her. She wondered if the rumors were true herself, I bet. I remember I had an amulet with Andraste's holy symbol on it. The only thing I had of my mother's. I was so furious at being sent away, I tore it off and threw it at the wall and it shattered. Stupid, stupid thing to do. The Arl came by the monastery a few times to see how I was, but I was stubborn. I hated it there, and blamed him for everything. And eventually, he just stopped coming. And raised my dogs. Or I may as well have been, the way I acted. But maybe all young bastards act like that. I know. All I know is that the Arl is a good man, and well loved by the people. He also was King Kaelin's uncle, so he has a personal motivation to see Loghain paid for what he did. Anyway, that's really all there is to the story. Something on your mind? Not unless they were asking me for a favor. Well, there was that one time in Denerim, but those women were not like you. Why? Is this your way of telling me you think I'm handsome? Oh, nothing much. I just get to grin a bit and look foolish for a while. At your service. Of course. Have you seen the uniform? It's not only stylish, but well made. I'm a sucker for good tailoring. I keep it hidden under my pillow. Sometimes I'll take it out just so I can hug it fondly and remember the good old days. Brings a tear to the eyes, you know. I'd use my shield if I could, but I think you might actually spot me hiding behind it. You don't really want to know about my being a Templar, do you? It's really quite boring. Poke, poke, poke. Tell me everything about your life, Alistair. All right, if you insist. It's not like we have anything better to do, right? The truth of the matter is that I did hate going to the monastery. The initiates from poor families thought I put on airs, while the noble ones called me a bastard and ignored me. I felt like Arl Eamon had cast me off, unwanted, and I was determined to be bitter. But I took some solace in the training itself, I guess. I was actually quite good at it. The education, mostly, but also the discipline. You need to have a disciplined mind in order to use the abilities we have. It was difficult, but rewarding, I never really felt at home anywhere, though, until I joined the Grey Wardens. And Duncan felt my Templar abilities might be useful for when we encountered Darkspawn magic, so I kept it up. What about you?
Hi, baby.
Do you have anywhere you consider home? Really? I guess I like the sound of that. We won't always be traveling like this, you know. Once the war is over, once the Blight is... well, a time will come when we'll have to think about having a real home again. Though that seems like a far ways off. And I suppose the Grey Wardens are gone for good. Either way. I suppose you're right. We can create new Grey Wardens, but we'll never get back those we lost. I wonder if it would ever feel the same. Anyhow, now I've sidetracked us. We'd better get back to what we're supposed to be doing right now.
Very well, if you insist. So I'm glad I didn't pursue the conversation much further since we had that god-awful annoying buzz in the background. I am sorry about that. I need to buy and yes, if it's not candy for my painfully obvious, fucking we'll be computer. romancing Alistair. I love Alistair. It's hard for me to not romance Alistair.